Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. I'm Lucia Palme. I'm gonna talk today about burnout symptoms. Bear with me, stay here. Burnout symptoms, this is serious one about burnout, and this is video number 2. So you might have missed my story, which I already said in the video number 1, so go and check it out, go and watch it, and watch this one. This is about burnout and symptoms. Burnout is shit, is really one of the main reasons to take you and your mental health down, and for it to be poor, and also to make your day-to-day shit. Burnout is a state of physical, mental, emotional exhaustion. It is quite important for you to understand what the symptoms are, as you might find that things like engaging with day-to-day activities that you really like, or day-to-day things that you like, is slightly harder than usual. Last year I got burnout, I overcame it, which is fantastic. It is important to get the symptoms clear for you to be able to catch it. The sooner the better. I cannot stress this more. The sooner the better. I'm gonna share with you what symptoms I got last year, and I'm just gonna dive into them. Number 1 is being cynical. I am usually quite a happy, positive person, very driven, and what I felt is that I was cynical, very skeptical towards my colleagues. At one specific project, I had 2 at work at that time. One specific project, but it really went broader to like my colleagues at my team, my stakeholders, the team in the projects, and also in general. I was not engaging. I usually have to run quite a lot of workshops, really collaborating and supporting that people work together, so as a team, and stop like silo working. Is very communicative, is very based on people more than really the work, if that will make sense to you. Maybe you're not in this industry, so it's a bit harder, but it's really engaging my work. I will go for challenges instead of really running away from them. What I felt in terms of being cynical is that I didn't trust people. Everything that they will say, they will do with their body language, I will question it, and as a consequence of that, I will actually question my work and my desire to go to things. So a bit of self-sabotage in there, and that was something that I truly didn't enjoy. Additionally, I will confront them, I will question them, and that was becoming more and more noticeable. I do have a way of talking to people on Spanish, and I have learned in the UK to be a bit more mild, let's say, in terms of how to communicate to people and not really need to harm them. In these cases, I felt I was a bit out of control, and I was actually being very confrontational with some colleagues. That didn't go well at all, but it could also be called aggressive behavior. So I really had to work on either not going to the meeting or writing instead of verbal interaction. Number 2 is a 24/7 non-stop thinking about work. I mentioned this in the video. Number 1, in my story, I was, and I still are, in a 9-to-5 job. I like them. And I was thinking about work constantly. So I will shut my laptop. I will feel miserable for like the whole evening. Also, it was February, so it's the UK, it's dark from 4:30 p.m. and that will contribute to it. Thinking about work, that this will happen tomorrow from 9, I will wake up worrying. I will have worrying thoughts that will wake me up, so I will not really consciously wake up. The worrying thoughts will wake me up, and that really scared me because I start sleeping less and being way more irritable. I remember it was February last year. I started in a new project, the second project out of 2, and I didn't want to go to the meetings. I didn't want to meet the team. I didn't want to go to meetings that I didn't see directly related to design, which is what I do, and this was bad. When you really go into a project, at least me, I like to go to as many meetings as possible to understand how people work, to really observe them, to listen from the different perspectives, so 365 or 360 perspective on like what the project is about. People have been there before, and I was joining them, or maybe the project was new, but at that time I remember that I was one of the first designers coming into an already existing team, and this was very, very bad. I didn't want to go to the meetings. I will reply writtenly. I might not show up because I will put tentative and like last minute. This was a little bit allowed in my company. So at that time it was a charity. Their culture really allows these behaviors in the sense that they will understand you. Feeling overwhelmed. This was an ongoing feeling, very agonic. I felt in agony, feeling overwhelmed. I will run a workshop, I will feel overwhelmed. I will go to meetings, I will feel overwhelmed. I will try to be productive, really analyze some sort of data or maybe interviews with users, which is part of my work. I will feel overwhelmed. This didn't seem to go away. It was the feeling that kept me being very worried and really didn't help in order to relax and think clearly about what was happening to me. It was very, very suffocating. Feeling like an imposter and thinking that my work was not good enough. That's number 5, or the symptoms that I felt. They're both related, so very heavily related. I have a video about imposter syndrome, go and check it out. That is related to criticizing myself and thinking that as I said, I really don't deserve what I'm getting from my work, and that my work is not even, good to be shown to anybody in town. When I get into imposter syndrome, I go on criticizing everything on me. My behavior, my work, my interaction with others. My behavior, my work, my interaction with others. My behavior, my work, my interaction with others. This goes on repeat. I have a toolkit on how to stop this pattern, and I use it. Hope those really help you to identify if you have burnout or not, or if you might have it in the past. This is definitely a very important step to recovery. You need to identify the symptoms and start working towards recovery. This is an important issue, and many people, at least in my surroundings, have burnout. They don't actively go and start recovery or healing. Burnout is temporary and can be healed. What about you? Have you experienced burnout? Have you recognized any of the symptoms? Please let me know in the comments below. Comment down there. This is everything for today. Like, subscribe, share the video. I see you in the last video of the series, where I'm gonna tell you how I heal it. This is everything. Bye now.